Can you believe Sean Diddy Combs, the legendary music mogul, spent Christmas pleading with prison guards? Yes, it's true. This shocking turn of events unfolded during the holidays, leaving fans and critics shocked. But what's really happening behind those prison walls? Reports reveal harsh conditions, a wave of explosive allegations, and a growing concern over Diddy's mental health while in detention. What could have driven him to such a breaking point? Was it the unbearable reality of life behind bars, or are there deeper issues at play? And most importantly, can Diddy, a man who built an empire, recover from what's shaping up to be the most devastating chapter of his life? Let's dive into the story. But before we get into all the details, don't forget to hit that like button if you're already hooked on this unbelievable story. And if you want to stay updated on Diddy's legal battles and other celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Now, let's uncover what's really going on behind those prison walls. Sean Diddy Combs, yes, the same Diddy who once threw million-dollar parties and lived like royalty, is now stuck in a cold, unforgiving cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Can you even wrap your head around that? The man who gave us hit after hit is now facing charges that by now we are all aware of. Talk about sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and even allegations of abuse from his ex-girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie. And while Diddy has fiercely denied all of it, let's be real, the stakes couldn't be higher. But here's where things take an even darker turn. Christmas, a time for family, joy, and let's be honest, those over-the-top Combs family celebrations was nothing short of a nightmare for him this year. Sources say he absolutely crumbled during the holiday season, pleading with prison guards to move him to medical observation. Why? He claimed he was suffering from an intense mental health crisis. And let's face it, can you imagine going from penthouses and private jets to spending Christmas in jail? One insider spilled, Diddy was sure his legal dream team would have gotten him out by now. Spending Christmas in there, it broke him. But here's the real twist. Those guards weren't having it. No special treatment, no transfer, no exceptions. The same man who once commanded stages and headlines was left powerless, stuck in a cell, and completely cut off from the life he used to know. If you've ever wondered how someone at the top of the world could fall so far, this story is the definition of a reality check. Now, speculation about Sean Diddy Combs' mental state is hitting an all-time high. Could you imagine the weight of spending Christmas, usually a time for joy and family, locked away in a prison cell? According to insider reports, Diddy even requested to see a prison doctor, hoping for some relief from the emotional strain of being behind bars during the festive season. But here's where things get interesting. While some sources claim he suffered a breakdown, others paint a different picture. One insider said, Diddy is mentally strong but understandably heartbroken over missing his children during the holidays. So, is his mental health really on the edge, or is this all just overblown speculation? Apparently, Diddy has been relying on meditation to calm himself down during his time in prison. And honestly, who wouldn't need some extra zen in his situation? But let's not forget the other details that have people talking. Reports from the Mail Online claim he's been skipping meals, raising even more questions about his physical and emotional well-being. And did you catch those courtroom photos? Just days before Christmas, Diddy appeared in court looking noticeably thinner and grayer, a far cry from the confident mogul we're used to seeing. And during that hearing, prosecutors revealed that the investigation into Diddy is far from over. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson even hinted that more charges could be on the horizon, though she kept the details under wraps. Meanwhile, Federal Judge Aaron Subramanian confirmed that Diddy's trial date remains set for May 5th, 2025. But with whispers of new indictments on the way, could things get even worse for him? Well, we can only wait and see what's coming. Although cameras weren't allowed inside at his recent court appearance, reporters couldn't help but comment on his shocking transformation. Law and Crime Network reporter Elizabeth Milner painted a vivid picture describing him as astonishingly thinner and visibly aged. "You can expect that from being in a federal detention center for months," she said, adding that his once iconic image of luxury and confidence now feels like a distant memory. The contrast couldn't be starker. Gone are the designer suits and extravagant settings, replaced by prison-issued uniforms and an undeniable fatigue. And yet, even in that moment, Diddy couldn't help but cling to a shred of his former persona. As he walked out of that courtroom, wishing happy holidays, it was clear he was fully aware those holidays would be spent behind bars. No lavish parties, no family gatherings, but just the cold, harsh reality of a detention center. For someone who's always celebrated the season with extravagance, the thought of spending Christmas in jail must have weighed heavily on him. And while that brief moment of charm gave a glimpse of his old self, it couldn't hide the truth. This was going to be a holiday unlike any he'd ever experienced. Even so, Diddy isn't just sitting idle behind bars. Sources say he's trying to make the best of his circumstances, even earning some respect from fellow inmates. Over the holidays, he reportedly played card games and shot hoops, making himself a surprisingly likable figure in detention. But when it comes to meals, let's just say they were a far cry from the elaborate spreads he once enjoyed at his legendary Christmas parties. Breakfast at 6 a.m., cereal, fruit, and breakfast cake. Lunch, Cornish hen, or BBQ tofu with macaroni and cheese, spinach and cranberry, and dinner, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's structured, yes, but it is modest compared to the indulgent feasts we're used to imagining when it comes to Diddy. Yet, while he adjusts to life behind bars, the legal storm around him only grows darker. New lawsuits seem to surface every week, each one more shocking than the last. The accusations gained major momentum in November when his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit in New York alleging sexual assault, physical abuse, and even claims that Combs forced her to engage in sexual acts with male workers while he watched. And this isn't the first time Diddy has faced such controversy. Despite rebranding himself as Brother Love, his past is riddled with allegations of violence and abuse, some dating back to the 1990s. Rolling Stone highlights incidents involving ex-partners like Ventura and Gina Hewing in 2019, as well as disputes with industry figures such as Steve Stout, J. Cole, and Drake. This makes you wonder, will Diddy ever spend Christmas out of jail again in his lifetime? But that's just the beginning. The most shocking allegation is about Jane Doe. She accuses both Diddy and Jay-Z of raping her in 2000 when she was just 13 years old. Diddy's legal team has fiercely denied the claims, calling them shameless publicity stunts, orchestrated by opportunistic attorneys. But with every new allegation, the damage to his reputation and the empire he's spent decades building seems harder to ignore. But here's the question: how much more can Diddy's career, legacy, and psyche take before the cracks turn into a lasting collapse? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think he'll ever bounce back? And while his legal battles rage on in courtrooms, Diddy is facing an entirely different kind of struggle behind bars. Life at the Metropolitan Detention Center is anything but glamorous, and for Sean Diddy Combs, it's a harsh wake-up call. The conditions are as bleak as you'd imagine: barren cells, meager meals, and even sporadic heating issues. And if you're thinking high-profile detainees like Diddy get special treatment, think again. Here, everyone's just another inmate, and the transition from luxury mansions to MDC's bare-bones environment seems to have left its mark on the 55-year-old mogul. Can you imagine going from private jets and red carpets to waiting in line for a peanut butter sandwich? Well, I wouldn't wish that for anyone. Supporters of Diddy argue that the system is being unreasonably harsh. After all, he has no prior convictions. Why deny bail to someone with a clean record? But prosecutors are standing firm, pointing to the gravity of the allegations against him: sexual assault, racketeering, and more. They claim these charges are too serious to risk releasing him. And honestly, it's not just about Diddy. It's about the broader question of how money and power intersect with the justice system. Is he being treated fairly, or is this an example of the law trying to make an example out of a celebrity? The battle lines are drawn. Diddy's legal team is getting ready for an all-out defense, while prosecutors are doubling down, making it clear they're not backing off. And with every new lawsuit and every fresh allegation, the public intrigue grows. Fans are left wondering, will this relentless storm of charges destroy the legacy of a man who once stood as a titan of hip-hop entrepreneurship? Or will Diddy somehow emerge from this with his name and his empire intact? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the road ahead is completely uncertain. What's your take? Is this the end of Diddy as we know him, or does he have one last comeback left in him? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story as captivating as we did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates on this, your favorite celebs, and other breaking stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.